Welcome back, design students. Let's put textures on our marker. So we no longer need the reference image, so let's hit the V button here in your channel box in your Layers Manager. Just click that to turn off the visibility of that. And then we're going to create a material for our marker body. So select the marker body, right-click, Assign New Material, and we're going to use the Arnold renderer here, so click Arnold, AI Standard Surface, and that should bring up your Arnold material. Now, in your attributes editor here, you'll see a whole bunch of tabs, because every time we do anything to an object in Maya, it creates a new tab here, and these are called nodes. So to get rid of all this, so we can easily find our material, which is at the very end of this load of stuff, with the marker body selected, we're going to delete the history. So go to Edit, Delete All by Type, History. And now you can see all those tabs go away, and here is our marker body material. So let's name this something like marker, and then we're going to click the color swatch here. We're going to click not the swatch, but the little checker box at the end of it, and we're going to select 2D Texture, File, and then we're going to click the folder. Now, since you put those textures in your source images folder, here's the texture that we're going to apply, and it's orange. So click Open, and you will see that you don't see anything. The reason we don't see anything in this viewport is because in your viewport settings, we have to turn on this one here, which is textured. That will show our texture in the viewport. And as you can clearly see, it is not applied properly. So this is where the UV editing needs to come in. And UV editing is done by polygon. So what we're going to do is switch to face mode, and we're going to grab all of these faces here that make up the side of the marker here. So click one of them, and then hold down Shift and double click the one next to it, and that selects all of the polygons that are next to each other around the cylinder. And now that we've got all those polygons selected, we're going to go to the UV editing workspace, and that should bring up something like this. Here are the polygons we have selected, and we need to tell Maya how to project these polygons, how to project this texture onto these polygons. Now, these polygons are clearly in the shape of a cylinder, so we're going to put what's called cylindrical projection on them. To do that, we're going to come up to the UV menu in your main menu right here, and we're going to select cylindrical. And that brings up this little gizmo thing here. Now, this is clearly not correct. This thing is not lined up properly. It needs to be rotated so that it's the same direction. So to do that, we're going to click this little thing right here, and that brings up a little gizmo. And what we need to do is rotate this thing. So we're going to click this rotational thing here, and then we're going to rotate it in the, I think, the Z-axis. And now we need to click the little scale part and scale it out. Now, I know it's still not correct. You can see that it's not correct, but it's close. And now in the UV editor here, you can see that it's still not right, but we have the UV separated, and now we can work with it. So let's go to UV selection mode. You see here in the UV toolkit here, you have vertex, edge, polygon, but these are the UV selection modes. Let's click UV shell here, and that allows us to click pieces of the UV mesh that we have created. Then let's get the rotate tool, and let's rotate that so that the texture is facing in the right direction. You can clearly see that on your mesh now. And then we're going to have to scale it. So let's scale it down like this, and then scale it out like that. And you can see that we're starting to get what we need. And basically what we need to do is line this up so that there's no distortion of the texture. We also need to make sure that the spacing between the two label parts is correct. You can see there's a big space here. So we're going to scale this down some. And that looks about right. So it should look something like this. It should be sort of right in the middle, and it should be scaled down like that. Now all of these other pieces are the rest of the mesh. So let's temporarily take this one out of the area, and then with UV shell selected, grab all of the other stuff that's in there and scale it down, and then move it out of the way, and then put this back. Look at your mesh and make sure it's positioned properly. Should be right in the middle like that. And then let's take these things and just put them down at the bottom here, because they're just supposed to be white anyway, and that's where the texture is. So once you're done with that, this is what you should have. And you can go back to the Maya Classic workspace. And there you go. Now this doesn't look as good as it could look at the moment because we are not using Arnold lights and this is an Arnold material. So we'll take care of that later. But when we come back, we're going to apply material to the top and to the marker tip. And they're going to need two separate materials because they behave differently. And I'll see you then.